Hey, Steve Riley, welcome to this episode of Great Practice, Great Life. And today, as usual, I have a fantastic friend, colleague, co-conspirator, and a all-around brilliant guy, Sam Price. Sam, how you doing today?
I'm smooth. Smooth is better. I'm
Smooth,
thrilled to be here with you today. Thank you, Steve.
smooth as butter. Now, you and I were comparing stories, and you just suffered through a hurricane. So you have to define what a hurricane is, because you've totally one up me in Florida with hurricanes. So you actually live in California and you had a hurricane. So tell everybody the story about this real quick, because I'm still cracking up about it.
I was telling my 6-year-old son that Hurricane Hillary was coming, which it's coming from, I don't know, Baja, Mexico kind of area. And it's coming up northward to Southern California where I live. I live about an hour east of Los Angeles. So this hurricane is coming. It's going like category 2, then category 3. It hit category 4. And my 6-year-old son is now he's afraid, right? He's like, is our house going to blow away? And I have to say no, right? But not like I've been through a hurricane, right? I've never been through a hurricane in my life, right? This is the first hurricane to make landfall in Southern California in 84 years. So the hurricane is coming, and as it comes, it starts quickly dissipating into a tropical storm. But still, it was a lot of wet and rain and wind that we normally don't get in August. And it happened during the hurricane, that there was an earthquake in Southern California in Ojai, 5.1. So we're calling it the hurricane. So I'm trying to one up you. I'm trying to one up you, Florida folks, with your hurricane talk.
You've totally one upped us, because we've never had a hurricane and an earthquake at the same time. But one of us is going to have to figure out how to do a Sharknado, a hurricane, and an earthquake at one time. And then
That's
one
trifecta.
That'll be the trifecta, right? The trifecta of natural disasters.
The hat trick.
But you started, my recollection is that you started as a tax lawyer in a massive law firm, and then you quit practicing for a while. So talk to me about that. Well, first, tell everybody what your website is and how they can find information about Sam Price.
Yeah, it's pricelawfirm.com. Pricelawfirm.com is our website. And when I came out of law school, I finished law school, then I got an LLM in tax. And I went to work at actually one of the, at the time, Big 5 accounting firms and in Southern California. So I felt like a number. There's, 60,000 employees in the US. And I just felt like I never met my clients. There were these large multinational corporations. And I didn't enjoy practicing in tax law. So I left. I finished school in 2000. And then I practiced for about a year. In 2001, right before 9/11, I left the practice. And I went back to my family business. My family had always flipped houses. So my mom flipped houses. She flipped houses before there was ever a TV show about it. Nowadays, people watch a TV show, they think they could flip a house, right?
Right.
Mom was doing this way before there were ever TV shows about it. So it's kind of the family business. And so I flipped houses until about 2008, when everybody stopped flipping houses, because that's when the mortgage crisis happened and prices were declining tremendously. I had built 8 homes that year and was stuck with them. I had this commercial building. Where the tenant ran a homeless resource center, and they contracted with the county, San Bernardino County, where I lived, and they contracted to provide this resource center where someone could take a shower, do their laundry, get connected with housing resources or mental health counseling, drug addiction counseling, things like that. And really just get off the street for a day, have something, we had snacks and we had something to drink so they could kind of get off the streets. That tenant had told me that they're like, Sam, the county needs housing. I'm like, oh man, I got that. That I have.
Yeah, I got no cash, but I got plenty of houses.
Right. Empty, by the way.
when you look back at that, what were some of the lessons that you learned that you took forward from that experience into practicing law? Because you ultimately pivoted and start practicing again. So what did you learn doing that?
So when I was running homeless shelters, I really learned a lot about having tolerance and patience for other people. I mean, sometimes some of the behaviors that our population had would be things that you just wouldn't, I guess in a former life, I wouldn't put up with, or just having to deal with certain people that you kind of think, whoa, wait a minute. What kind of, like when I used to deal with professionals in an accounting firm and doing tax law, we were all lawyers in our little department. But going from that to dealing with construction workers and contractors when I was doing flipping houses to dealing with now the homeless population. And I really learned a lot from the social workers that the county had to kind of talk about some tools that you can use to be more patient and tolerant with other people and their behaviors. So that was really something that I brought home after working on those homeless shelters.
Well, I'm sincerely doubting that anybody listening to this podcast could use any advice on being patient and tolerant and dealing with people. Literally,
I'm still learning, Steve. I'm still trying to learn to be patient and tolerant of other people, right?
You develop this process where you do what you call a think day. So talk to me about how this developed. Talk to me about how you teach another lawyer to do it. Talk to me about how it's helped your practice.
Yeah. What I do is once a month, one full day a month, I don't come into the office. I take what I call a think day, and I actually calendar it on the calendar. So it'll say Sam's Think Day. And it's a day that I take outside of the office. And it's a day just for me to think about the practice, think about our processes or our capacity, our employees. It could be thinking about our cash flow or revenue. I'm thinking about strategic planning for growth. It gets me out of the office. I purposely don't come to the office that day. And I might go on a hike or I might go to a cigar lounge and relax. I might sit at the library, somewhere where I could think and be out of the office, away from the everyday deluge of work that comes, the whirlwind of cases and dealing with clients and staff and the courts. I need that time because outside the office, because otherwise I'd be stuck at the office doing tasks for cash and being interrupted with phone calls and emails and questions. But what I do is I get out of the office. I sometimes bring a book, and I will bring either a notepad or maybe my iPad with me to be able to do some research or take some notes. And I will think about what is the biggest frustration in my practice that my mind needs to take the time to think about and work on that problem. Or I think about ways to improve the efficiencies of things like our processes, systems and processes. So that's what I do. The two biggest things to get this done is, number one, put it on your calendars. Calendar as a day out of the office. You're still working, but you're not working at the practice. You're working on the practice. So calendar it, and then be sure to go somewhere outside the practice. I don't even stay home for this because then I get distractions from home with my wife and our son. So I do it somewhere where I can be alone to think about the practice. And that has led to a lot of new growth for us and different ideas.